Hello, I can hear myself. This is great. Good evening, afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Hunterdon Central Television. This is Mariah McKeown, and I will be broadcasting to you the field hockey game against Voorhees. As right now, the game is underway. Voorhees lost possession of the ball. Caitlin Paul will be getting the ball back into play for the Red Devils. And so far, the Red Devils are starting off the season 1-4 with losses against Washington Hills, Mount St. Mary's, Montgomery, and Bridgewater Raritan. While Voorhees are currently undefeated in regular season play. Voorhees got back on possession. And they're currently heading up the field. And there's currently a bit of a battle going on right there, I believe, between Leah Childs and number 24 for the Voorhees, Kayla Circulia. Now, there was a defensive penalty committed by Hunterdon Central. They are forced into their own nets, and the Voorhees players are given a free position in the offensive circle. The pass goes. Kaker kicks it out of harm's way. The Voorhees got back on the ball. And the ball goes out of play. Hunterdon Central gets a sigh of relief. And they will start off with the ball. That ball was passed from Brianna Finelli, the defender, who's a junior. The Red Devils are currently in a bit of a scrum with the Vikings. Whistle was blown. Voorhees is able to remain with possession. That is number 24, Kayla Circulia, with the ball for the Voorhees Vikings. A good deflection from the Red Devils. Good kick stop by Kaker. And number 17, Krista Linzinger, has the ball, passes it up to her teammate. Red Devils got in the way of that. Good positioning by Caitlin Paul, getting in front of that. The ball bounces off the Vikings' foot. Sands is chasing after that, but wasn't able to retain possession for the Red Devils. The Vikings get on it. That is number 6 for the Vikings, passing it up. That is Brooklyn Trago. Whistle was blown. Red Devils will have possession. Brianna Finelli will start with the ball for the Red Devils. Passes it back. Whistle was blown. The Red Devils are able to maintain possession. Potentially Megan Smith had possession for the Red Devils. The Voorhees Vikings blocked that passing lane for the Red Devils. And they're back on possession, heading up the field. A whistle was blown, but possession is able to be retained by the Vikings. The Red Devils get on it. That is Piccoli, but loses it to the Viking Trago. And the ball shoots, it's just shot wide. Red Devils get a breath of fresh air. And they're now bringing it into the field. It looks like potentially Red Devils passes it up. Sans passes it back to Paul. Paul retains possession for the Red Devils, the senior. Currently has 2 points to her name with a goal attached to her. Passes it to Fulton. But the ball ends up on Soltis' stick. McRitchie loses it to the Viking. Cross shot didn't land well. Red Devils will have possession. That is, I believe, Chavez on the ball for the Red Devils in a bit of a scrum with 2 Vikings. A whistle was blown. Possessions retained by the Red Devils. I think that's either Finelli or Piccoli going to start it off. And the ball goes out of play. Voorhees will retain possession. That will be brought in by the Vikings. Ball goes a little over. And there's a little bit of a scrum in the midfield. Central gets on it. But Piccoli was beaten by Trago. McRitchie's going to bring the ball into play for the Red Devils. Chavez is nearby to help McRitchie with having some options. Fulton gets the ball on her stick, but loses it to the Viking. That is number 25, Brooke Barkman. Shot goes wide. And the Red Devils are going to bring it into play. That is Brianna Finelli, defender, going to start off the ball for the Red Devils. Finelli falls into the trap of the 3 Vikings blocking her pathway. The number 24, Kayla Sakulia, has the ball for the Vikings. She's going to let her teammate start it off. Sophia Painter. Whistle was blown. Red Devils are going to have possession. That will be brought in by Leah Childs, the senior. Got on the stick of Maya Sans. Sans tries to get it to Paul, but it just goes out of play. And Brooke Barkman will bring it in for the Vikings, who are in Highbridge, Hunterdon County. Whistle was blown. Paul will start the ball for the Red Devils. And it lands on the stick of Brooklyn Trago. No one was home for the Red Devils to pick that up. Smith tries to get into the mix, prevent anything from happening. And she does. With the help of McRitchie, the ball gets pushed into the outer side of the field. And Trago has to bring it back in for the Vikings. And a good defensive play by the Red Devils, getting it further down the field and away from Caker. Whistle was blown. Ball was called dead. And Childs will start off play for the Red Devils. Childs passes it to Paul. Paul for Sans. Smith heads up the field, but she got foiled by Lenzinger. Paul is going to head up the field. Tries to do a reverse pass. I think that was meant for Smith, but Smith did not get there in time. A Viking player pounces on it. And a good attempt for the Red Devils, keep getting into their O zone. Whistle was blown. And the Red Devils have been awarded a free position due to a defensive penalty by the Voorhees Vikings. Paul will initiate the play from the looks of it. And she will. From the side of the net. She's going to weigh out her options. Passes it to, I believe, McRitchie. I think McRitchie passed it to Chavez. That is Soltis. Passed it up to, I believe, Paul. Paul's trying to get it into this greasy area. But the Viking got on top of it. And it's in! The Red Devils are up 1-0 on the undefeated Voorhees Vikings. I couldn't tell who scored that. It was a very greasy situation. Nevertheless, the Red Devils are on the board 1-0 against the Voorhees Vikings. This is crucial because the Red Devils are currently 1-4. They're currently defeated in conference play, while the Vikings are having the opposite season. Number 23, Lizzie Rajewski, had a little bit of some issues getting that into play. But a good defensive stop, I believe, by Soltis. Pushed the ball out of harm's way. And a penalty was committed by the Red Devils. They have given Voorhees a free position. With 3:29 remaining in the quarter, Hunterdon Central's up 1-0 over the Voorhees Vikings. The Vikings shoots it in to play. It's a lot going on over there. A whistle was blown. Another contact caused by the Red Devils, and they have awarded Voorhees another position. Good kick stop by Kaker. Another contact call by the Red Devils. And the Red Devils are heading into the net, giving the Voorhees Vikings another free position. Not giving them any room to breathe. Trago. Kaker with the stop. And another slashing or contact penalty on the Red Devils. The Voorhees Vikings are awarded another position. McRitchie tried to stop it. And the Red Devils are given some breathing room. Childs passes it to Paul. Paul tries to pass it up the field for Sons, but was foiled by Delia Cahill. And the Vikings get it in. That was scored by Nadia DeRee, who's the midfielder for the Vikings. The equalizing goal has been put in. It was a very bad defensive break by the Red Devils. They showed a crack in their game and let DeRee get a ball in. Past Kaker. Let's see how the Red Devils respond. Sons. Pass it up to Caitlin Paul. No, that is not Paul. That's Megan Smith. Paul right behind. And loses possession to the Vikings. Vikings are running up the field. A good stoppage by Childs. Paul tries to get on it. Barkman beats her to it.
About 20 seconds.
Paul Barkman has possession for the Viking.
She's crossed her arms. I thought.
Currently, there's a stoppage in play.
She's just waiting until it gets to where it should be.
Oh, gotcha.
Due to a timer error. Barkman's going to start the ball up, passes it up to Paul, and on Paul's stick. Sons is currently battling for the ball, ends up turning it over to Maylee Haggerty. No, Lizzie Rajewski. But the ball just goes wide. With 5 seconds remaining in the quarter. It is a action-packed game so far, 1-1 for both teams. We'll see you guys for some second quarter action. And we're back for some second quarter action. The Red Devils and Vikings are currently equalized with 1-1 each. DeRee scored for the Voorhees Vikings in the first quarter, but the Red Devils, we have no idea who scored. It was a very crowded, greasy goal. And currently right now, Caitlin Paul is having a battle with Brooke Barkman for the ball. She won that for a bit, but the Voorhees Vikings just got back on it with the help of Delia Cahill. A whistle was blown. Red Devils are able to retain possession thanks to Alicia Hubbard's efforts on the offensive drive. Soltis passes it back for Fulton. But the Vikings are back on the offensive with Haggerty. A whistle was blown. Possession is retained by the Vikings. Caker does a kick stop. And the Red Devils have committed a defensive penalty against the Voorhees Vikings, giving them a free position. This is what I've noticed against Montgomery, and it's what burned them in their game against the Cougars. They fall 7-0 against them. That wasn't a pleasant game to broadcast for sure. But the Red Devils are on it. They're trying to get the ball out of their zone. That is Megan Smith, who got the ball out of harm's way for the Red Devils. That will be brought into play by Paul. And I'm now here with my co-host. This is Haley.
I'm Haley Green.
Haley Green. So this is your HCTV debut. Welcome to the second quarter action. So what are some keys you believe that Hunterdon Central needs to do to win this game? They're currently tied 1-1.
Well, in every sport, I feel like communication is really key for a lot of this, and just keep the ball in their possession and just play as hard as you can.
Absolutely. That's very good points brought up by you. And let me talk about some things I noticed against the game in Montgomery, which we last broadcasted on the live streams. They had a lot of issues with passing. Mm-hmm. They were getting blocked every second of the way by Montgomery, and they would do a two-person trap. Every time a Red Devil would have a ball, two people would just get on top of them, and it would just be a nightmare for them to even get anything going. Mm-hmm. And I also noticed that they committed a ton of defensive penalties, and which the players have to go inside, the Hunterdon Central players have to go inside their net. Yep. And the team got free positions, which is a very easy chance of getting a goal by them. So it's definitely a lot of issues at play. Currently they're 1-4. Voorhees is currently undefeated on the season.
This is gonna be interesting to see how it plays out then.
Absolutely.
Considering all those things.
Now, Hunterdon Central has committed another defensive penalty as players are entering the net and getting their headgear. That will be number 17, Krista Lesinger, who will be starting off this free position for the Voorhees Vikings. And that was blocked by the Red Devils. And they get a sigh of relief. Leah Childs will bring that into play. And she passes through the wickets. And Paul has it, but it's in a battle with Barkman. Paul loses that battle to Rajewski. Another whistle was blown. Red Devils will have possession. That was Soltis. Soltis' pass meant for Paul ended on the stick of Barkman. Fulton had to battle that back for the Red Devils. That is senior Caitlin Paul. Passes it up the field. No one was there to receive that pass. And Delia Cahill will have that ball back into play for the Voorhees Vikings. So how do you feel about your first HCTV debut?
It's a little scary, I have to be honest, but I have you as a great co-host, and you'll be helping me through this, so the nerves have calmed down a little bit.
Well, we're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And a whistle was blown. The Vikings will retain possession. Number 17, Krista Lesinger. Trying to get that ball with the help of Brooklyn Trago, who just got that. The Vikings are currently battling to keep this into the O zone, with the Devils fighting back to keep it out. Good play by Smith, getting in the way of that. Sans is battling that out. Paul for Smith. Smith is heading up the field. Passes it inward to believe Hubbard. Smith is trying to get that back. Paul's trying to get that back. But DeRee get on that for the Vikings. DeRee effortlessly went through the defense of Hunterdon Central, but luckily Hunterdon Central was able to have possession. That ball will be brought into play by Leah Childs, who passes it up the field to, I believe, number 14, Emma McRitchie. Trago gets that for the Vikings, but loses it to, I believe, Finelli.
It seems like that issue with passing has continued on a little bit with what I've been watching here.
Yeah, the passing situation has definitely been an issue. For sure, they just can't find appropriate passing lanes because the lanes that they do really want are getting blocked. You have to think outside the box here.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they keep putting themselves into the box that they can't try to think outside of. The Barkman has the ball, bobbles it a little bit. Sans applying the pressure. Paul. Sans beats Barkman to the ball. She's currently getting boxed in by 3 Vikings. Paul is right behind her, and she doesn't even realize that. Paul's going to bring the ball into play. But that lands on the stick of a Viking. Number 8, Sophia Painter. But it was a good stop by Leah Childs, the senior defenseman, but it was too uncomposed. No, it was not uncomposed. No one's going into the net. And Paul and Childs is going to start the ball from about the 15-yard line. Land on the stick of Barkman instead of Paul. So the goalie for our team is a sophomore, by the way.
Okay.
She's definitely has a lot of pressure on her shoulders as an underclassman. Our backup goaltender is also a sophomore as well. So they're going to have them for the next 3 years.
Sophomores are surely representing.
Absolutely. This team is definitely on the younger side. More juniors, sophomores, and freshmen compared to seniors. I think there's only 4 seniors on this entire roster. Caitlin Paul is one of those seniors. She passes it up for Maya Sons, who battles it back against Delia Cahill. Trago just beats Hubbard to the ball. Hubbard just a freshman on this squad. That is Rajewski. Finds a crack, but didn't capitalize on that opportunity. Red Devils get a bit of a sigh of relief, and Childs will bring the ball into play.
I should shoot her dad a text. I got kind of friendly with him. He's an NFL, cybersecurity guy.
Passes it up. That is Megan Smith, who has the ball for Central. Does a crossway pass to Sons, intercepted by Trago.
Jimmy Gannell, the guy does Bridgewater games. He has the trophy place here.
And Kaker kicks it out of harm's way.
No, I'm not. I'm guessing it's at home game. I think
Barkman gets on it, but it was chipped out of harm's way by Caitlin Paul.
I realize you can just be
Leah Childs is going to bring that ball into play, but it will be Avery Fulton going to start the ball up. She's also a senior. That ball was trying to get to Caitlin Paul's stick, just went out of play. Cahill for the the Vikings, will bring the ball into play. Paul loses that battle to Barkman temporarily, but gets that ball back for the Red Devils. I don't know if you've been noticing this, but Caitlin Paul has just been someone who's trying to get possession back with the Red Devils. She's definitely a key play driver for sure.
Yes, such a key to this team.
But Central was unfortunately not composed in their own end, and they are now taking a defensive penalty. Will have to start in their own net and try to counter this attack that Voorhees has with this free position. Trago gets the ball in, but it's, I think, waved off by the referee. It's dead. And the Red Devils will have possession. That is Leah Child starting it off. Tries to pass it to Paul, but that ball just had a little too much oomph to it. So as you've been noticing, Haley, anything you want to add to this game from your insights?
I think that they're just trying to. I think that Central's offense is just trying to compensate for all of their missed passing opportunities and just trying to get the ball in play as much as they can.
Yeah, and what I've also been noticing is that they really are struggling to get out of their own end. It's like they try, but they hit a wall.
Yeah, this has been very, very Voorhees heavy.
About 90% of the possession have been in this zone, Hunterdon Central's D zone, which is not a great thing for their game at all. And they only have 2 goals to their name in the season. They've been outscored 19 plus 7, 23-2. They're being outscored against opponents.
Yeah.
And this is because they can't get it out of their own end. And that will be Brianna Finelli bringing the ball back into play. She's a junior herself. But Childs will start the ball from about the 15-yard line. They try to pass it up to Hubbard, but they overpassed it and it landed on a Viking stick. Looks like Chavez is trying to get that ball up the field. Whistle was blown due to some turnover, but Hunterdon Central will retain possession just due to some contact that's not on the flat side of the stick. Chavez has the ball, but was pushed back by the Vikings, who has a break. They're currently heading up the field. But the ball just goes wide. A sigh of relief for Kaker as she doesn't have to make a kick save or any dire effort with only 52 seconds remaining in the quarter.
I think when Voorhees got repossession, I think that's where these girls really need to think about communication and kind of what I said earlier, how communication is just so key to all sports, and to see who's open, and so that they don't have to go through all these missed passing opportunities.
Yeah, and I also noticed that Voorhees is very good on the rush. They are able to run up the field and cause immense amount of pressure, where Central is just lagging behind.
Yeah.
These rush opportunities have definitely been very beneficial for Voorhees. Look, there's another rush opportunity, an odd man rush, I believe by DeRee, the sole goal scorer for the Vikings. Barkman is able to retain possession for them, but the whistle's blown. The game is still tied 1-1, and we'll see you guys after halftime, where we'll have more conversations about the game.
We would like to take a moment to thank our corporate sponsors for the 2025-2026 school year. At the gold level, thank you to American Tire and Auto of Flemington, Britland Auto Body of Greenbrook, Coldwell Banker Realty, Dave's Collision of Flemington, the Gravity Vault of Flemington, Hunterdon Health, Mid-Jersey Orthopedics, Sandhill Dental LLC of Flemington, Scheibel's Plumbing, Heating, and Water Treatment of Hampton. At the silver level, thank you to Farmers Insurance Company of Flemington, Your Smile LLC of Flemington. At the bronze level, thank you to Dr. Pamela Souse, Optometrist of Flemington, Jersey Mike Subs of Flemington, Molesky, Eisenhut, and Zielinski, Attorneys at Law in Flemington. At the red level, thank you to Mathnasium of Flemington and Panettieri's Pizza and Pasta of Flemington. And at the black level, thank you to Provident Bank of Flemington. If you would like to become a corporate sponsor, visit the Hunterdon Central website and click on the Community menu tab to learn more.
Hunterdon Central Regional High School, located in beautiful Hunterdon County, is a high-achieving 9th to 12th grade school district educating over 2,200 students from 5 different municipalities. We are an innovative educational community dedicated to the intellectual, social, and emotional safety and growth of all of our students. We are proud to have been named a National Blue Ribbon School of Excellence, ranked second in New Jersey for top public comprehensive high schools by U.S. News & World Report, received an AP School Honor Roll Silver Distinction. Our students are National Merit Scholarship semifinalists and commended students every year. And our students and teams have won a lot of trophies. And while we are very proud of these accomplishments, Hunterdon Central is more than awards. We are a welcoming school community committed to education, respect, growth, and support. And at Hunterdon Central, there is something for everyone. From academics to extracurriculars, we strive to offer something that will interest every student that enters our hallways. Look at our vast list of courses to choose from. Whether students are into math, science, English, history, or maybe they like business, art, or music, robotics, TV, or radio, we have something for every student at Hunterdon Central. Passionate about languages and culture? We had 118 students recently graduate earning the seal of biliteracy. We even offer 6 specialized academies through our magnet program in architectural design, biomedical sciences, computer science, engineering, media and communications, and robotics, and they are right here at Hunterdon Central. Students do not have to go to another school to participate in these unique academies. Central offers 18 different types of sports over 3 seasons with varsity, JV, and freshman levels, and we offer unified sports for students with and without disabilities. Our caring staff is dedicated to helping students succeed in every way. Please don't hesitate to ask questions and reach out if you need any help anytime. Welcome to Hunterdon Central.
And we're back for some second half action. The game score right now is 1-1 HC and Voorhees. And I'm Ryan McKeown.
I'm Haley Green.
And welcome into the second half, as I stated. So, do you want to add anything you saw from the game, from the first quarter you've seen?
I guess kind of just like going along with like what we've said in the past, what you've said, that they can't get out of this box whenever they try to pass. They can't get out of this box that they get themselves stuck in, and so that's just something that we really need to work on when we get possession of the ball.
Absolutely. It's just very disheartening. This team is a storied program. Hunterdon Central Field Hockey has been good for years. In his recent years, it's been a rebuilding year. For sure. I mean, we do have one club field hockey team in the county, but it's all the way where Voorhees is, all the way north in Hunterdon. And I think we got a stink bug in here. But, anywho, Hunterdon Central is currently in the O-zone right now. And they're currently driving up the ball. That was driven up by Phoebe Soltis, but was ricocheted off of a Viking stick, and the Vikings are on a break, but it was a good stoppage, I believe, by Avery Fulton, the senior defender. But that ball was stripped out of Fulton's stick by the Vikings. The Red Devils are trying to prevent any harm coming to Caker's way. They do. Sans is going to chase after the ball, but the Vikings will retain possession in their own offensive zone. That is Chavez for the Red Devils, loses it to the Viking. And the Red Devils are getting out of their own zone. But that was foiled by Brooklyn Trago. The Vikings are creeping in ever so. And Hunterdon Central will be heading into their own net as they committed a defensive penalty in their own zone. Voorhees Vikings have been awarded a free position. So the senior defense corps and Brianna Finelli will have to quell this Viking attack in their zone. And the ball goes out of play. A sigh of relief for the Red Devils as they quelled that penalty. Childs is going to bring it into play from approximately the 15-yard line. That was Caitlin Paul. Tried to drive it up the field, but was intercepted, I believe, by Trago. A whistle was blown. And the Red Devils have committed a defensive penalty again. And they're heading into their net.
This Voorhees defense has really been showing up from what I've been watching during this game.
Yeah, absolutely. With them being undefeated, only conceding 6 goals in the season, their defense has to be strong. Mm-hmm. They're outscoring their opponents by heavy margins. which is excellent for them, but not excellent for us.
Yeah, definitely not.
Leah Childs is going to bring the ball into play after getting a breath of relief. She passes it to, I believe, McRitchie. McRitchie tries to pass that up for Chavez, but Chavez loses it in the midfield to Brianna Priest. We have a couple of Red Devils playing field hockey in college. We have Division I star Amanda Walker playing for Ryder, the Broncos down in Mercerville, New Jersey. We have Celino Edo playing field hockey at Bowdoin College up in Lewiston, Maine. No, Brunswick, Maine, excuse me. And we also have Kelly Weaver, who's playing at Gwynedd Mercy University in Pennsylvania.
That's great for them that they can continue their favorite sport, and it's great for them to get a chance to play more professionally.
Absolutely. I mean, field hockey is a growing sport in the United States, so it's really great to see. I mean, we have a club team called Omega in our county. A lot of girls play there. Celino played there, and many others have. Kaylin Paul and Avery Fulton trying to fight for that ball. Goes right into the middle of the O-zone. A defensive penalty was committed by the Red Devils, and they are forced into their own net, giving Voorhees another free position. This is what burned them in the game against Montgomery. 7-0 loss to Montgomery. Just time and time again, they're not super composed on defense. You have to be composed, but have a little bit of aggression.
Yeah.
Smith is trying to get on that. And the ball hit a Viking. But the Red Devils are able to take a sigh of relief. Childs is going to bring that ball into play. That ball meant for McRitchie went out of play. That will be taken in, I believe, by Taylor Bykowski. No, Claire Sizak. The Vikings are on it. That is Trago, a key play driver for this Viking squad. Good cross pass. The Red Devils protected that opportunity with great positioning by Sons. But the Vikings are sending a barrage of attacks. But the Red Devils are able to quell the storm and get themselves out of it.
A lot of pressure they just put on the Voorhees team.
Yeah, absolutely. But also Voorhees is just very good at applying consistent offensive pressure. I mean, this is what has them undefeated so far in the season. 6-0. We're currently 1-4 as a squad. We have a lot to improve on. But so far, with the amount of free positions we've given up, this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
And Chavez gets on the ball for the Red Devils. Whistle is blown. Vikings are able to retain possession. Good positioning, I believe, by Finelli, just putting her stick in the pathway of the ball. Chavez is going to bring the ball up the field. Just a freshman, the young freshman forward. Unfortunately loses it to the Voorhees Viking, but actually no, she will retain possession, and that ball will be brought in by McRitchie, the junior midfielder from the 40. Chavez gets the possession back for the Red Devils. will be brought in by Mac Ritchie. And that's Duree. Nadia Duree, the sole goal scorer for the Vikings, is heading up the field.
That's definitely
And Kaker with the kick stop.
They just play a tie here, right? So,
But it goes through Kaker's wickets. 2-1.
poor timing on that question.
Voorhees. I'm not sure if that goal was counted. And now we're starting back from center field. That goal did count.
French Mariah, it's Illabou.
Il est beau, c'est la boue. C'est la boue. So, how do you feel about that play recently?
Voorhees is just, like you said, just great at applying pressure and just great at intercepting our passes that we try to make, and just a great team overall.
Yeah, absolutely. They do have the luxury of being nearby Omega Field Hockey Club, which a lot of their players are probably a part of as they're traveling around the country or even the world. I mean, field hockey is very popular in Europe, especially in the Netherlands. A lot of college hockey, field hockey players originate from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a very massive sport across the globe.
Clubs definitely do give players great advantages when they're not just playing for school season, since school season's only typically one season out of the year, when club can be played all year round.
Absolutely. And that is a huge advantage the Vikings have on us, as it isn't a schlep for them to go get that club training.
Yeah.
Voorhees is bringing the ball up the field. That is Barkman. And that ball just went out of the way. Kaker can just get a sigh of relief. That ball wasn't too far in harm's way.
Yeah.
And Childs is going to bring the ball into play. And the ball that was either meant for Paul or Fulton goes out of play. Barkman will bring that ball into play for the Vikings. Voorhees has possession. Really good play by Finelli, just couldn't get it on her stick. The Red Devils are going to bring it up the field, but got intercepted by Brooklyn Trago. And the Vikings will retain possession. That will be kept into play by Claire Cusack from the 20. Trago passes it up the field. So many people trying to get that ball out of harm's way for the Red Devils. Barkman is able to retain that possession for the Vikings. But that's Smith, gets the ball out of harm's way, but just gets stopped by that Vikings defense. Hubbard was trying to receive that ball. She didn't notice that the play was starting, but Central was able to get back on possession, and that will be brought into play by Caitlin Paul. Whistle was blown. It's probably a turnover on possession. Paul will have it. Smith. But loses that to this ever so strong Voorhees defense. Central will have possession due to a turnover by the Vikings. Paul will start from about the 15. passes it back to, I believe, Fulton. Another whistle is blown. Voorhees will have possession for this time. Voorhees is currently running up the midfield.
I'm sure the amount of pressure that both teams have been putting on each other hasn't really helped them at all.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing. Central is the smaller team here. They only have 2 subs on the bench. They don't really have that much depth flexibility compared to Voorhees. I mean, Voorhees has about 5 players that they can use to replace their players. But Central only has 2.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
not
not much depth.
Yeah, and I'm not including the goaltenders because all teams must have 2 goaltenders at all times. Voorhees won themselves a free position after Central committed another defensive penalty in the zone. With 40 seconds remaining in the corner. Trago passes it to her teammate, but Red Devils are getting it out of harm's way. Chavez is going to bring it up the field. She got stopped by Trago and tripped. Red Devils will have possession. It will be started by McRitchie with 11 seconds remaining. Actually, no. The Vikings will retain that possession. With 3 seconds remaining, there's really not much you can do. And that is the end of the third quarter. The Vikings strike back 2-1 Voorhees. We'll see you guys for some fourth quarter action. And we're back for some fourth quarter action. Currently right now the Vikings edge the Red Devils 2-1 after the third quarter. The Red Devils will start with the pass back. And I believe that is going to be handled by Smith. Smith passes it back to Paul. Smith tries to get it to a Red Devil behind her, but it was unsuccessful. So going back on that third quarter, what I've noticed is that Hunterdon Central is maintaining pretty good defensively.
Yep.
Unfortunately, just a break in Caker's wickets just ended up having a ball going through. But what did you notice throughout this third quarter?
I think that, or I noticed, we really have to try to just get better at passing and just try to get this ball in our offensive possession.
Absolutely. I mean, the problem is that we keep putting ourselves in our own end because we aren't composed. Composure is extremely important, especially in this game, because a 1-goal deficit is humongous.
Yeah.
But for Voorhees, it's not. They were able to equalize it pretty quickly in the second quarter. So it's definitely something we need to control with our defense for sure.
I don't think it'll be fully fixed in the 13 minutes we have left, but it's definitely something for Central's team to work on.
Absolutely. There's going to be tons of time to practice. I mean, tomorrow school is closed for all students. Staff will have it in service. And we are now giving Voorhees a free position. And that ball goes wide. Central gets a sigh of relief as that free position was quelled. Childs is going to bring the ball into play. Child's pass to, I believe, McRitchie was successful. Tried to dangle through that defense. She had Chavez nearby, but Chavez was not in a beneficial position for McRitchie to get it to her.
Yeah.
Brianna Finelli, the sophomore the junior defender, I believe. No, She's a junior defender. Brought that ball back into play for the Red Devils. Finale gets back on it, trying to compete against the Voorhees Viking, number 8, Sophia Painter. That ball went out of play. The referees are deciding who will retain possession. The possession will be in Central's favor. Finelli will start it from approximately the 20-yard line.
Let's hope we could get something. We could get something started here.
Yeah, but Voorhees has positioned themselves in this box formation, and it worked. One of the corners of that box collapsed in on her. That is Painter. And Painter was able to block that pathway. But another defensive penalty was committed by Central, and they're now in their own net again.
This has happened way too many times to count.
Our athletic director, Mr. Spencer, said it's his 17th corner of the game. I think he's been counting. Voorhees swung that, and the ball just went wide.
Just missed.
That's definitely a good sigh of relief for the Red Devils. The amount of pressure that the Vikings have just been able to apply on them, causing them to make careless, silly errors,
Yeah.
is definitely good to get that sigh of relief. Sans is on the ball. She's a junior. Whistle was blown. The Vikings retain possession. Ball was taken out of harm's way. Sans is going to try and dribble it up the field. Sans received that pass from Paul. Sans was trying to pass it up to Hubbard, but she was covered by a Viking.
Oh, we just watched a lot of back and forth going on.
Indeed, it was a very scrum-like position that Central was in, fighting Voorhees for that possession. Voorhees starts the ball. That is Barkman in the corner. Tries to get it in this greasy position. Ball goes out of harm's way. Childs is going to get that ball back into play for the Red Devils. It's going to start about the 15, 20-yard line, just around that region. There's not much time remaining in this game, but still 9 minutes is a lot of time for stuff to happen.
Yeah.
I just oxymoron myself. Whistle was blown. A defensive penalty was committed by the Red Devils. Some sort of slash occurred. They're going to enter their own net. They're going to put their headgear on, and another free quarter was awarded.
For now, the alleged 18th time.
Yeah, could be more.
Yep.
And it goes behind the net. It was just scooped right up and launched perfectly by Voorhees. There was so much going on. I was unsure who scored that, but it's currently 3-1. It didn't go in. It was a high stick. It was a dangerous play. So that goal was waved off. The deficit is still 1.
It's definitely a big sigh of relief now that we're still only down by 1 and not 2.
Yeah, absolutely. But from what I've noticed is that when you're down by 1, especially if you're in Central's position, it just feels like a large mountain you have to climb up.
It does, yeah.
And it's just because they're unable to get themselves up that mountain. It feels like climbing Mount Everest for them. When it should be climbing up Round Valley Mountain.
Yeah.
Or no, the Appalachian. The Appalachian is a much smaller mountain compared to Mount Everest. That would have been a better comparison. Smith has the ball, but bobbles it against, I believe, Trago. No, she bobbled it against Doree. Trago starting off with the ball. And currently, right now, the Vikings are in a predicament. It's a slashing. Red Devils committed another defensive penalty. They're back inside their net. And they have awarded the Vikings with another free corner. The ball ricocheted off a Central's player's back. And they get themselves out of harm's way. 6:10 remaining in the quarter. Leah Childs will bring the ball back into position in play for the Red Devils. A timeout has been called, unsure by which side. Our side is called the timeout, according to our athletics director. So, while we're in timeout, let's talk about the game at hand.
Yeah.
So, we've given them numerous free corners, and it's definitely been causing us to not be a composed and a not very organized and structured team.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Coach Sponzo is a great coach.
Mm-hmm.
This team is just not able to be structured,
Yeah.
and it's just a lot of issues are at play because of that lack of structure that team is struggling to find.
Yeah.
Coach Sponzo is a great coach. He's been playing a lot of good tactics, a lot of good structure,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just we can't apply it, and also Voorhees is just has that chance of easily reading our plays.
Yeah. They've definitely been doing a good job with everything in this game.
If we're a book, they're reading us really well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they have a manual to our own car. It is a very nice day today,
It's a really nice day.
especially after yesterday. Yesterday was miserable.
Oh my god, yesterday was so terrible.
It was miserable. My car was just drenched with leaves and rain. Like, the leaves were just stuck on my windshield. It was a very pesky drive, for
Glad
sure.
I don't have a car to deal with that.
Yeah, we only have like a one-car garage at my house.
Oh.
So my mom gets priority. I have to park it. So it's life. I mean, it teaches me a lot of lessons about being prepared and make sure I'm cleaning my car.
Yeah.
Now the Red Devils and the Vikings are heading back on the field. Clock will start with 6 minutes and 4 seconds remaining. Current score right now is 2-1 in favor of the Voorhees Vikings, who are currently undefeated in our conference, who have beaten our opponents by larger margins than we have.
Mm-hmm. The Red Devils have to stay as prepared as possible for how much pressure that Voorhees has been applying this entire game.
Absolutely. Voorhees looks like a very cohesive unit compared to how we've been playing as a team.
Yeah.
Chavez is heading up the field, loses possession. Voorhees, actually no, we have been awarded with the retention of possession. McRitchie will start from the 50-yard line. But that was ricocheted off of a player's foot. 5:38 remaining in the quarter. Finelli got stuck in a 3-versus-1 trap of that box, putting her in a very unfavorable position. That is Kira McMillan, who's going to bring the ball back into play for the Vikings. And that is Doree, one of the 2 goal scorers for the Vikings, who got an opening goal for them. A dangerous play. And it looks like Central has committed another penalty. They're back in their own net, I believe, for the 21st.
20 or 21st, yeah.
This is definitely not a good sign. It's just showing how not composed we are defensively.
Yeah.
We're playing aggressively, which is very crucial, but
Mhm.
you can't play overly aggressive. Field hockey is a very minimal contact sport. You can't commit too much contact penalties. It will
Yeah.
burn you. Kaker made a couple good stops with the help of the Red Devils defense. Another sigh of relief, 4:21 remaining in the quarter. Whistle was blown. Childs is going to bring the ball from around the 20-yard line. I think that ball was meant for Sans, but it wasn't in her stick. The ball just goes wide. A little bit of a sigh of relief for Kaker. She doesn't have to do much.
Mhm.
Kaker, within 4 games on this season, has 35 saves to her name. That just shows how much time Central's spending in their own zone.
Yeah.
DeVelder only has 1 game played under her belt and has 1 save to her name.
I think Kaker has definitely witnessed a lot of relief in this game today.
Absolutely not many shots have gone by her so far
Mhm.
compared to other matchups, which is a very good sign.
Yes.
Maybe Central can trend upwards in the right direction. This could be a good loss for them to learn what to do
What to work on, what to improve.
and what to keep going, what to keep doing in their gameplay and their style.
Mhm.
To hopefully potentially trend in the right direction, only having 5 losses in the season, and hopefully get a chance at playing in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We do need to earn enough power points to receive that opportunity. That is Kaylin Paul who has the ball. Passes it up. But that ball got turned over with a good defensive play by Barkman. That ball hits the post. Kaker should definitely pull in Marc-Andre Fleury and kiss the post. Thank you
Yes.
for that help. That's usually what Marc-Andre Fleury does. Well, he doesn't kiss you. He just says thanks to the pole, the goalpost.
It was a very stressful moment for the Red Devils.
Absolutely. You were saved by the pole. Childs drives it up the field, but it didn't end on Smith's stick. Chavez won the possession back for the Red Devils. Smith starts it off. She's going to drive it up the field for Hubbard. Sans. Sans is getting pressured. Paul just bounced it off her stick. It wasn't composed at all.
Back. Oh.
Whistle was blown. Central was able to retain possession, going up into their zone.
A lot of back
score.
and forth just now as well.
Yeah, it was not a great shot opportunity. They were just blocked and clogged
Mhm.
by the Voorhees defense. Voorhees was able to get that possession back. Central turned it over to them.
This defense from the Vikings has been on fire today.
Absolutely, it has been. Whistle was blown. Central's going to have possession. Finelli's going to start it with less than a minute in the quarter. See what Central's could do. Hubbard could have gotten that from Kale, but just wasn't in position. There's only 21 seconds remaining in the quarter. So it's blown. Smith's going to have the ball. But Voorhees got back on possession. 6 seconds remaining in the quarter. And that is game. Such a close loss for the Red Devils. 2-1 victory for the Voorhees Vikings. Wasn't a terrible loss for sure. It was definitely a sign of good success in the future.
Mm-hmm. A 1-point deficit is really, it's a small amount, but in reality it's more of a much larger amount.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. 2-1 is the final score in favor of Voorhees. We'll see you guys next week for some broadcast streaming. Have a great day.